You're listening to KEVL Rock Radio, the true metal radio show.
As we drink.
It was. Is that? I mean, that's the story?
That's the story. I mean, the guy they couldn't get him to a show. They couldn't get him to any of his stuff. The guy was a
raging alcoholic.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like alcoholism doesn't run in the heavy metal world, especially back then.
It wasn't just alcohol; it was everything
even
else
normal
they were
world.
into.
But for a long time, nobody telling that story ever talks about James' addiction. James addiction. That sounds.
Yeah.
James addiction.
James Hetfield's, alcoholism.
Well, there's a difference.
We just talk about Megadeth and how Megadeth was born.
No, it's called
that,
one guy can't get out of his bed. The other guy, could get a divorce. There's a difference.
I thought he was just, he just got red hair. He looks like he's probably kind of an asshole sometimes. So maybe he drinks and he becomes a fucking asshole. Maybe that's
no. I just listened to him. He's an asshole.
Yeah.
You hear any of his interviews? It's like he doesn't realize anything that he's done in his history. But he'll back up on everybody else like he's a goddamn bust.
Yeah.
He'll just run them all over. And you're like, yeah, you dickhead. What about what you've done?
Well, Megadeth is still planning to tour.
Correct.
Coming up. So, his cancer, I guess, his throat cancer is being treated. And
I think the
Mega Cruise is still on.
The Mega Cruise is on.
Yeah. So if you want to go on a cruise and see a whole bunch of badass,
Testament,
huge bands,
gonna be
man, I'd go just for the Testament.
Oh, it's gonna smell disgusting.
Well, I mean, every concert you go to smells anyway. It smells like fucking Teen Spirit.
But think about being trapped on a fucking cruise with all these people like, hey, you're like, holy shit.
That's how you are. You're trapped with them in the fucking stadium or the.
But I can get the hell out of there in an hour. I can't get out of there on a 6-day cruise.
Well, you just
do
go
you guys
past
know
your,
what a shower? God damn.
You just go back to your room and just shower. That's it.
Speaking of tours, Black Label Society is finishing up a tour right now. They get a couple more shows and then they take a break for a few months. I like Black Label Society.
Yeah,
they're gonna be touring again next year.
Great guitar player, band.
Yeah, it's enjoyable. I think it's perfect music to smoke up to and then enjoy.
It's definitely what the label says.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Zach Sabbath?
Yeah. Yeah.
What you think of that?
I think it's awesome, man.
So the drummer used to be with Queens of the Stone Age.
Oh, really? He's a very talented guy.
Yeah,
he
Joey
is.
Castillo.
Yes, thank you.
He's
I couldn't
cool.
remember that. Yeah. Slayer still also has dozens of dates left on their final leg of their U.S. tour.
This is the final leg of the final leg.
And of course, again,
in 2022, we're going to quit for sure.
They're all Live Nation nonsense fucking venues. As
My
always.
favorite.
That's where
So
they
they
make
might
the most
not
money.
play at your show,
That's where
but
they
they'll
make the
get
most
paid.
money.
My favorite.
You know what? I call bullshit on that because it's the problem is that there's no other venues that people at that size that anyone could play. Live Nation now owns either licenses or owns the venues outright.
Yeah.
So there's nothing anyone can do about it. It's not like the only thing Slayer could possibly do is just say we're only playing festivals and non-Live Nation festivals.
They can get 2 semi-beds, put them together.
Just tour around.
Well, if
on
enough
their
artists just boycott
18-wheelers.
Live Nation, they can maybe make that better for them.
That needs to happen.
I don't see it because Live Nation pays them off like immediately.
Yeah.
You know, like they're paid.
They're like, hey, here's your cash.
No matter how many people go,
Yeah.
if
They make
they
it
sell
very,
out or
very
not.
difficult.
you
Yeah.
know.
As an entertainer,
And
you're
the
going to take
scalpers,
that gig.
terrible.
You could give a crap.
Yeah, because
Live Nation is the scalper too, though.
Well,
they own the scalping companies
True.
too.
Yeah.
When you're just like starting out, like you spend so much damn money, you spend so much
Promoting
energy.
yourself.
Everything, like you literally spend every
You
last
have to
dime
make a
and then
lot
some
of
and
money per
credit and
show.
everything just to make it to like a little bit of not even mainstream, but like noticeability.
Yeah.
But so even
big
these
company
big
comes
bands,
along
you
and
got to
says,
think about.
we'll pay you. You're going to
like,
say
like Dave,
Yeah,
think
yeah,
about
yeah.
this. The reality is, when these guys are playing a show, let's say at the Live Nation Capitol House of Blues, right? And they play one of these shows, they have to rent the venue. They're paying for the entire everything that's going on there. All the bands they're responsible for mostly, depending on the contracts work. You have to literally make thousands and thousands of dollars on that show just to cover your costs.
Oh yeah.
And so
You sound like you're about to start defending Live Nation.
no, I'm talking about the band.
You're going to take a shot if you keep all right.
Talking shit.
No.
Just watch where you walk with this conversation.
Let me finish it up with this. So the problem that you have with it all is the bands succumb to it
Yeah.
because they're going to get paid, whereas before it's almost like not having a union. They
broke
didn't
even.
get paid. They broke even just to get to the next town. They're making thousands. Someone's making a shitload of money.
That's
but
not the case with the festivals now, though.
Well, no. I
festivals
get
don't
the
do that,
festivals, but it doesn't matter. The festivals are only so many festivals you can do, shows you can do all night, every night.
Yeah.
And so,
But that money comes at an expense. It fucks over all the fans.
Yeah, I don't like
it
festivals.
does. But what
My
I'm
personal
saying
opinion,
is,
I don't like
I don't
festivals.
but what I'm saying is, as the entertainers, the bands that you have nowadays, they're getting guaranteed money, whereas before they didn't. So I understand why Live Nation got to where Live Nation got.
You know
Yeah.
what? Speaking of
Smart-
small bands,
smart business.
Speaking of small bands and festivals, in Dallas, Texas, there's a band called Power Trip that's putting on a festival. This is the second year they've done it. They put on, and I've seen other smaller bands do this before. It's a lot of hard work. But they have to find a venue and they have to get a bunch of good bands on the bill. This is part of the new wave of thrash metal, one of the newer thrash bands, or the modern thrash bands. Power Trip is a really good band. They've got Carcass, Violence, which is like one of the kings of this new resurgence of modern thrash. Death Heaven, Razor, Sheer Mag, and I think they're playing in, let me see, I got a note here, in January of 2020. And they're putting on the entire festival themselves, which is pretty incredible.
That is awesome.
That's impressive.
So that means you're going to foot it, you're going to pay for it all, and you're going to hope you're going to get your return.
And you
Yeah.
really,
And
at that level, these guys,
you're going to pull.
They're skipping
They're gonna
production.
pull.
That's genius.
and they're bringing a lot of bands that,
But
like
you-
a festival like that size should.
You
They're bringing a
gotta
lot of
have the
bands that
talent.
you've never heard of, too.
You got to have the talent to pull that off, though.
Yeah.
If you think about
And
that.
you're doing what you're doing is if you do it the right way, you like you're saying, you're bringing the other bands into it that don't have that notoriety that can continue that because someone sees someone, they go, holy shit, that's good. Now I got something in front of those fans. Now you're perpetuating how it used to work in,
Yeah.
in
It
the
supports the
70s
whole
and 80s.
genre.
Yeah.
The genre is supposed to support the genre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You bring these guys in. It's like we were always called a band's band, which was the weirdest tag you could have, is because we didn't have any fans. We didn't have any fans. No one knew who we were. But we
Yeah.
got to play in front of people. We
A
got
lot
to
of-
play
a lot of big shows, yeah.
Big shows because other bands or that industry would let you because they wanted you in front of
Yeah,
them.
they like the
liked
band.
it. They
Yeah.
liked the band.
That's
so
awesome.
and that's what it's about. And so you've lost that for 20 years.
Yeah.
And now to hear that they're doing those things like
This put-
like now that's exactly
More
what
bands
it's about.
need to be putting on their own shows like this.
Put
the way
their
the
own
Power
shows
Trip
on.
is.
Like, and the thing is, and that's what made what we were trying to do. And I think a whole lot of things that we were doing when you had Remus Radio in the day and all that kind of stuff. You try to do something that wasn't going on because you could make it happen.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
how they could. Now at that level, you're talking about a totally different monster, obviously.
Well, let's hear Power Trip.
Let's do that, man. I'm excited to hear
This
it.
is from their
Let's do it.
2017 album Nightmare Logic.
Awesome.
This is called Executioner's Tax.